Hi, everyone. So, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about the three branches of government, and we're going to focus in on the legislative branch. Now, the legislative branch is a branch of government that writes up and votes on laws, and the laws are also called legislation. Other powers of the Congress include declaring war, confirming presidential appointments for groups like the Supreme Court and the cabinet, and investigating powers. The building that is associated with the legislative branch is the Capitol building. Now, real quick, I just want to go over when it says um, the two parts of the legislative branch being the Supreme Court and the House of Representatives. We call that a bicameral house. So it is, again, two parts, the House of Representatives and the Senate. So right now we're going to focus in on the House of Representatives. Now, the House of Representatives have 435 total representatives, and it's different for each state based upon their population, which is why it's so important for us to be doing the 2020 census right now, because the 2020 census is where we end up getting our state population, or one of the ways that we get our state population. So the more the state has population wise, the more representation it will have in the House of Representatives. So again, it's very important for us to take charge and to really complete the state census or the country census. Representatives are elected every 2 years. They must be 25 years old, have been a citizen for at least 7 years, and live in the state they represent. Now, the Speaker of the House is the leader of the House of Representatives. The House elects the member they want to be a leader. The Speaker is third in line for the succession to the President, meaning that the president, if for any reason can no longer be the president, the Speaker of the House is the third person who would be able to take over as president. I also do want to have a side note that the information in which I'm using today is coming from our fabulous Duckster. So I know we've used it in class a bunch of times. That is where I'm pulling a lot of this information from, and I want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due. Now, the Senate has 100 members. Now, the Senate is only two members per state, meaning that only two people from each state will represent the state in the Senate. There is where you get your 100 members. Senators are elected every 6 years. To become a senator, you must be a person at least 30 years old, have been a U.S. citizen for at least 9 years, and must live in the state they represent. So, for instance, if I was the senator of the state of New Jersey, I could not live in New York State and be a senator for New Jersey. I must live in the state in which I represent in the Senate. Now, some of the jobs that Congress is in charge of, and again, Congress is that bicameral or two houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. So when we talk about Congress, again, we're talking about the House of Representatives and we're talking about the Senate. So the jobs of Congress are making laws, which, if you take a look at this fabulous YouTube channel right here, I'm going to post that in our classroom as well. That is how a bill becomes a law, from the Schoolhouse Rock series. They also create an annual budget for the government, which then imposes taxes on the citizens because the citizens are the ones that have to pay for that budget. The Senate can ratify treaties with other countries, and they can also confirm presidential appointments. And an example with that is his cabinet. So the president wants all of these people to be in their cabinet. From our previous slide dealing with the executive branch, we talked about the president's cabinet. So the president wants all of these people to work for them. Well, the Senate needs to agree to that, and they need to confirm or give their okay in order for the president to have those people do that work and follow him. Congress also performs government oversight. They are supposed to make sure that the government is spending the tax money on the right things and that the different branches of government are doing their jobs. So, Congress as a whole, again, wants to make sure that the money is going where it's supposed to be going, or at least is going where people are saying it's going, as well as has a major dealing or hand in with the checks and balances, making sure that there's not going to be one particular branch of the government that is taking over everybody else. And we will definitely discuss more about that later. So if you have any questions about this, please feel free to contact me. I am going to ask that at this point, what you will do is only fill in that legislative block in the graphic organizer. You already filled in the executive branch one. Now you're looking at the legislative branch one. And I'm going to ask that you please just fill in that particular box with a sentence or two that really gives a description using the words from the word bank. Please make sure that you watch the video on how a bill becomes a law. Again, if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to contact me or email me as quickly as you can, and I will try to answer these questions as best as I can